know, when we're here in America and some missionary is martyred in overseas somewhere, the whole world knows about it. Videos are made about it, movies are made about it, and the whole world knows about it. Sometimes our people really suffered and nobody ever knew about it, except just a few missionaries and a few people. And this is a story I'm going to tell you about now. Nimrod Rumpombo. I was in the village of Amar, and we had brought Nimrod down from the Bible school to work with us on our station. Very sweet, wonderful, spiritual Christian, very small man, and it was such a help to us, and patient and kind. And he married one of the village girls there, which was a different tribe from his, and she was very large, very aggressive, and totally went against her whole culture. In their culture, the man is supposed to beat his wife for the first year to beat her into submission, and then she settles down and they live happily ever after. Well, when he married, she turned things around. She defied her own culture, and she was beating Nimrod. Every few days she was beating Nimrod up. And they were all trying to get him to do what he was supposed to be doing and beat her, and he just wouldn't do it. And well, I got kind of tired of knowing that Nimrod was being beaten up by his wife. And I called him in. Now, I did not counsel him to beat his wife. I did tell him that it was sinful for him to allow her to beat him. And a few nights later, I heard a commotion in the village, and I go sneaking down in the dark, and Nimrod was walloping his wife with a stick. And I just smiled and went home. That happened a couple of times and settled right down. Never had any trouble with her again. She didn't try to beat him up anymore. She was just waiting for him to do what he was supposed to do, I reckon, but things went well. Well, then I moved to the village of Singo, and we had there Domingos Mayor. His daughter name was Johanna. We brought Yunus Faidibon down from the same Bible school, and we put Nimrod and his wife and Yunus and Johanna in the village of Sumapro, which was a very isolated place, and they were to be there as church planters and teachers. And they were doing a wonderful job, but some rebels were hiding out in the jungle near them, and they came into the village. Well, they thought that they were just government people trying to hide from the rebels. They didn't know that they were very wicked people who were actually the rebels against the Indonesian government. So they came in and they invited them into their homes. They cooked them food, gave them drinks, fed them, took good care of them. And when they were in the classroom one day, they went into the classroom, told the children all to leave, and they took hostage the two couples. And Nimrod and his wife didn't have any children, but Johanna and Yunus had a little baby boy and a little girl. They took them into the jungle, and they had them for about 2 weeks, I think it was. When Yunus went down to the river to get some water to bathe the baby with, and the rebels, the men, followed him down there, and they tied him and Nimrod up, killed them with their spears, cut the bodies up, threw them in the river, and took the women into the jungle. Nimrod's wife, this was her area, and as you learned, she's very aggressive. And so she pretty much almost immediately escaped. And sometimes I thought they might have turned her loose. But anyway, she escaped. But Johanna was very shy, and she didn't know where she was because she didn't understand that area. And so they took her, and not too long after they took her, one of the rebels left, sort of just went away from the rebels, departed him, just separated from the rebels. And he took the little girl with him. And we found out that she was out, so we got her back down to Singo, and we raised her there at Singo, sent her off to nursery school, and took care of her. 22 years later, we found out that Johanna was still alive. She had been taken as a wife of the main rebel leader. and they had come out to the coast they thought that they were going to come out and go to declare independence, and they were going to be in charge. Of course, that was never going to happen. But when we found out that she was alive, we managed to get her separated from him and got her back to Singo. Then we heard the story, the whole story. The little boy, the baby boy, he starved to death because she had no food to eat for herself, and she had no milk and was not able to nurse him. And so he died in her arms. And that was very sad as we heard the stories. It stirred the suffering that she went through living in the jungle for 22 years. She could not even remember her own language and was very backward and very shy. But we got her out, and what a reunion it was when she got to see her daughter. This little girl, she was just a little girl, very young when she left, and now she's 22 years old. There's such an immediate bond between mother and daughter, and watching this happy reunion. But you know, as we said, that Nimrod and Yunus, they were martyrs in every sense of the word. They were there serving the Lord and giving their lives to serve the Lord and to teach those people. And they gave their lives. And I wish the whole world could know some of our people who suffered, but especially these two who died serving the Lord.